Remind me again, your last name? I already forgot.
The Hunter.
Well, everybody says Jager, but
I thought it was like the Jager or something.
well, it's the Jager.
The Jager.
Yeah, but you can just say Jager. Everybody says Jager.
The Jager.
Yeah.
Have you?
Jager.
Yeah, yeah. I got that a lot.
What about Jaeger bombs? Do people ask you a lot about your preference
I was in a frat for like a week, and literally they just would call me Jager the whole time I was doing that.
Could be worse nicknames in a fraternity.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a great nickname.
Yeah, no. We had a kid that was named Pig Fucker, and he was called that for 4. Can you imagine like being at a party with women and trying to like meet people, and everybody's like, "Yo, Pig Fucker."
Definitely.
What the?
Anyway, welcome to our podcast. You flew in from Florida to join us. We're humbled. We're honored. We're grateful. I feel like we're like virtual friends meeting in real life. So this is great, man. We met through your boy Johnny, and you hooked these guys up with 179D credits, which we can go into a bit. But that was a nice check size. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. I got a referral fee.
Yeah,
It's on a balance sheet somewhere.
It's gone though, right?
Let's start over. So welcome to Real Estate Addicts.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's let it flow.
Real quick. Real Estate Addicts.
Well, you want to start the music? Start the music.
There is no music.
Okay.
there's no music.
Now we're just dying.
Yeah.
Ray Herto, RH Investment Group,
Dan Rubin, RH.
Marc Svetsky, choose Boston.
and Charles de Jager.
Energy credit consulting.
Translates to the Hunter.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm humbled to be here, guys. It's seriously, it's super exciting. You guys are all extremely impressive guys in this area. Everybody knows you. I'm just so humbled to be here. In the room, such a great guys. It's really cool.
You might be our first guest that's flown up to come hang out.
No, not true. Las Vegas.
Oh no, Las Vegas.
Yeah, forget it.
I mean, it was an easy decision.
Well, okay, so
Yeah.
we can count, I was going to say we can count it on our hands, right?
Yeah. Well, if you did this in February, we'd be more honored, but at least it's sunny today. Listen, let's get to the topic. 179D credits were awesome. Are they gone? Is that still a thing?
It's basically gone. So we actually don't mess around much with incentives anymore. I actually, about a year back, changed my whole business because basically the One Beautiful bill came in, axed a ton of federal tax incentives. And then I realized wow, the government can just pass a law and my business is gone, and that's crazy. And so I was like, I want something that nobody can just come in, pass a law and I'm just done. So we went into more energy.
So your original business model was just all this tax credit
Find money for your project.
Yeah, incentives. It was hey, there's all these energy incentives out there. We'll find them for you.
And how did you get into that?
Oh, it was so random. So I got a job at a tax consulting firm that did cost segregation, and they wanted to basically establish a branch doing 45L, which is a tax credit for multifamily or single family. And so they just were hey, you're kind of entrepreneurial. Do you think you could come and start this for us? And I was like, all right. I mean, why not? I was working the night shift at SpaceX on the weekends. So I was like,
Whoa.
I want to get out of this.
All right, hold on. What's that like?
Yeah, what were you doing at SpaceX just on nights at
You have
weeks
too
ago?
many stories. This is going to be a long episode.
Did you go to school for
Hold on.
accounting? How did you?
No, I went to school for industrial engineering.
Okay.
I guess I was really fortunate. My boss at the consulting firm I worked at was a lawyer, a tax lawyer, and he was so knowledgeable and he loved to talk. And I would just get on the phone with him and he would talk for 5 hours straight and just share knowledge with me about real estate tax stuff, and just learned so much over the course of that year or so.
You're a dork. I say that with affection.
He's smart. He's wicked smart.
Wicked smart.
I don't know about that, but yeah, and then ended up starting my own company. I worked with them for a bit. We did 1 or 2 million in revenue in the first year and a half on that branch, and then I was like, okay, I want to step up, give me some more money. And they were like, no, you're 23 years old. And I was like, I'm going to start my own company then. And I didn't realize how hard that is.
But you did it. And you had a niche. I mean, prior to our project, I'd never heard of 179D, just like I'd never heard of...
How did you find out about 179D?
Yeah.
We used 179D tax credits with Charles for some larger New Boston projects.
I see.
So got some decent sized checks. But yeah, it's funny. I was at a 40th birthday party in Austin this past weekend, and we were all like sitting around the hot tub, and it dawned on me like after half an hour, like, we're just talking about tax strategies. I'm like, what is going on in life? Like, I'm like leaning in. This guy's like, and if you buy a jet, you can depreciate it every year to its full. I'm like, whoa.
That's how you know you're
right. This is why all the subs when bonus depreciation was in play. All of a sudden, they all had like, I don't know, Teslas and other really expensive, like G-Wagons or something, because the weight rating or something.
The point isn't actually the tax advice. It's just the fact that, like, you know, you're probably talking about your bad shoulder and he's giving me tax advice. And I'm like, I'm fucking old, huh?
Yep.
That sounds exciting to me. I don't know.
He was like 24 and he's like, 4 hours later, he's like, can you just go over that 42L credit once more?
45L.
45L. Okay. So,
which is a great credit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it worked it was. You know, the thing about those incentives, though, is they, most people would like you to believe that, like, they're, you know, geared towards certain sides of the political spectrum, but they're bipartisan. Everybody in the government likes real estate and does stuff to help out their real estate friends. And they get canceled and taken back and forth, and they'll have, like, gaps, and then they'll go back and say, okay, now you can go back and do it. And it's like, it's always changing, though, and that's the part I wanted to get away from. So now we just do it as like an add-on. It's like, hey, and we'll do all this stuff.
Like, if it's available,
we'll make sure you get everything.
We'll throw it in.
So what's the primary line of work? How would you describe your business now?
We just get people energy code compliant, but we do it from a cost-first standpoint.
So basically, what really piqued my interest was that you've started this email series. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's like the ECC Edge, you've called it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. It's essentially really niche topics, but very, very real world, real numbers, real savings, really detailed. You know, when you're building a new project, your architect is going to bring on like an MEP and they're going to design your mechanicals and electric and plumbing, but they don't give a shit what they're putting in. I mean, they say they do, and I don't want to insult any of them that they don't, but they're putting in, I don't know if they're putting in like good, better, best, or, you know, how detailed that discussion gets. But, you know, when we were doing that project in Lynn, it was like, oh, do these dryers, have dryer vents everywhere, have these vents all over the place, no regard to fire, separation, dampers, and the cost to put 7,000 stacks through the roof. So what was really interesting was that your email series has kind of tackled each of these components, talking about spray foam, how that might be going away, or talking about going from ductless to ducted, how that's not a good idea. So I just really found it very interesting. Pumped that you're here to talk about stuff at a high level.
Give us a real good, like a recent story where like
real world example.
Yeah.
Something that happened recently.
Yeah. Like it was hard to follow Ray's logic there. It was
so
kind of like,
here's
that's the story of my life.
Thank you, by the way, for the compliments. The goal behind what we're trying to do is just to show people that, like, there is no 100% right way for every project, because every project is unique. They have a unique team. They have a unique build. They have a unique situation. Like, there's no two real estate developments that are the same. And so you should never just say, this is what we do every single time, and we never consider anything else.
Yeah, that's probably a better way for me
where
to say
do you
it's
see
not
like
a
a good
one-size-fits-all thing.
So, I mean, a win that I saw last week, it was a 530-unit project. I think it was in it might have been Braintree, Mass. That's going to go up. And here's an example. So there's two paths you can look at energy code. You can say, I'm going to do do you guys know what like a HERS path is?
Sure.
And then, like, have you heard of like Teddy?
No.
So it's just two differences. So you look at, I'm going to analyze just this unit and do it on a unit by unit basis. That's HERS. And then Teddy is, hey, I'm going to look at the whole building all at once.
We call that prescriptive versus performance.
Yeah.
So there are actually two different types of performance.
Yeah.
So there's like prescriptive, which is just follow this general list.
Yeah.
It works. It's easy, but you're probably going to blow a lot of money that you don't need to blow. But then there's the performance side. You've got actually 3 or 4 different paths just inside of that you can do. And it's all just different types of energy modeling. And so what happened with this big project is their consultant looked at it from a Teddy perspective, whole building, spec'd a bunch of stuff out. We give away free energy code feasibility studies where we do the analysis to see, hey, what's the most cost-effective way to get there to pass? And so when we were doing it on this project, we just took a HERS approach and saw, hey, you actually don't need to install continuous insulation at all on this one. You also don't need triple pane windows. You can drop that to a double pane.
Wow.
And across the whole project, I don't know the exact numbers we estimate, but we estimated it several million.
Oh yeah.
And
For
so,
sure. Not to mention, I just hate, well, as a builder, continuous exterior insulation just presents so many little challenges and oddities. That's cool.
yeah. So, that's an example of where it was just over-spec'd. So to your point, people just have a way that they do things. They know it always works, and they're just kind of like, well, I don't want to go outside the box. And it's like, well, you can, and you'll save people a lot of money if you do.
What's the sweet spot in terms of project size, though, that you kind of feel your business is best at?
Obviously, the bigger the better, because they save more. If it's under 12 units, it's not that it's not helpful. It's just that
kind of trading 6 for 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, when you're under 12 units, just find the cheapest guy you can to get you through energy code, and he'll just get you through. Like, don't even waste money if you're under 12 units, because it's like the incentives are not going to do much for. Like, townhomes is a little different because the incentives are huge with those. But
Really?
yes.
Why?
Honestly, I don't know.
I was pissed though that they didn't treat townhomes, because I just finished 5 townhomes, and they were not single families were great. The townhomes, I didn't find that I got that much money.
Really?
Yeah, maybe I have some money out there.
How much did you get? Well, you don't have to share.
No,
sorry.
I'll say, if I remembered, I would share. I probably think it was like somewhere around $1,800 per townhouse. Yeah,
That's it.
That's it.
How tall was the building?
It was 3 stories.
You should have gotten. Were they stacked or were they
Side by side?
I don't know why you got that little money. Somebody because I'm on the phone with the MassSave guys regularly. Like, you should have gotten at least $7,500 a unit.
And I guess we should clarify: are you just Massachusetts, or do you also have nationwide?
It depends on who's asking.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be on my
bigger the
phone
better.
looking for some emails. You guys keep
If
talking.
it's a big project,
No, Marc's
right?
mad.
Yeah,
Why? Well, no,
Money on the table.
it's nothing to do with you. This is
yeah. No,
there's $6,000 times 5. There's $30,000 somewhere out there.
so yeah, we do stuff all over the country. Really, the studies are great because, we just if it's a new state that we haven't done anything in before, you just look up the code, see what the requirements are, and then
It's not even state, though. A lot of it's within each municipality, because if they're adopting certain years, and if they it's
Right.
just
Which HERS version is it?
it's a pain in the ass, actually.
Well, yeah, Massachusetts is they're not in their own field there, but they're unique in that they do that, and they're like a lot of states are just like, hey, this is what we do for energy code. We do it everywhere, and
That's how it should be.
right. It would be simple. Texas, every single municipality is different.
Oh,
So you literally have to look up for every single one. Massachusetts is kind of in the middle, where it's like
well,
regions.
some municipalities will just follow what the state mandates, but then some municipalities kind of go above and beyond, and they implement their own. They don't implement their own, but they adopt higher tiered programs.
Yeah.
Right. That are they still? Is it still through the state? But it's just, I think the state has different tiers, right?
Yeah,
And the municipality elects which tier they want to follow.
exactly. Yeah. So
Okay.
there's the base stretch and specialized opt-in, and it's basically, if you're in multifamily, it's, am I doing just a blower door test? Am I doing HERS, or am I doing
Right.
passive house? It's one.
It's
of those
also
things.
hard from a developer standpoint, because if you do projects in all these different municipalities, I mean, some developers focus just on, 1 or 2, and they get used to it, but it's like your cost to build could go way up depending on which municipality you're doing work in.
And that's what I find so compelling about Charles, is that he's almost making it seem like he's going to help VE. And I'm not trying to sell your services. I haven't been paid. I could be totally wrong, but
For more than 12 units, though.
of course,
Yeah.
there's always that. Keep that in mind. But it was interesting how, oh, well, we're still achieve passive house. And maybe you can speak to some of what Dan was saying. achieving things that each municipality wants without blowing the budget or finding those creative ways. And
Yeah,
it's interesting.
I would say that the money is found for us by running tons of energy models. So like, think of it like we'll make anywhere from 30 to 100 small tweaks to the design and run a simulation for all of the units. And we do that for free for people. And then we run a cost analysis for every single tweak. And it's like a lot of work, like a lot of work. But, we just hit this point where I realized like, wait, like one small fine, if I can cut, the U factor in the windows by 0.05 and take it from a triple pane to a double pane, how much money does that save a developer of 50 units versus I charge $5,000 more for my fee? Like they don't care about my $5,000 fee,
Right.
And so we're like, well, if we can just give these away for free, then more people will believe in it. And then, half of the people who get one end up wanting to work with us down the road. So it's like, it pays for itself. It's just a lot of work up front. And, some people just take the study and run, and that's fine. But
I mean, they still got to implement it, and you're not like giving away all the secrets. You're just saying this is theoretically what could be done. No,
we just give it all away.
Oh.
Like, I don't even.
Then how does it? I'm trying to figure out your.
Do you help them
model.
with do you help them like get the incentives or what's?
Yeah. Okay. I guess to your point, it's basically like we'll give them the design up front. They're going to probably want a few more tweaks once they get close to permitting, and we just say, hey, here's the design. You could use this. It'll work. And you could go find someone else and you don't even, this is going to be the best way. And then we just say, or you can work with us. This is how much it costs. And that's it. And we get them all the incentives. We get them all, we get them certified for whatever they got to do for their municipality. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple, but
cool. Hey, tell us if you own a spray foam installation company right now, is this the time to sell your truck?
Yeah, you had an article about that.
So I would just there's always new solutions coming out. Like people are so
innovative and entrepreneurial.
They're so innovative. They're going to find a way to make it good. The only thing I would caution people for, Massachusetts is truly at like the forefront of energy efficiency. This is why we picked this state. And there's almost nobody doing what they're doing here. There's states following it, but nobody's like leading the charge like it is here. And what I've heard from people is that you can't really go any further. The buildings really can't get any more efficient than they are unless new technologies are created. And so the next step is carbon emissions then. So we want to make sure the materials you're using are low carbon. And so spray foam insulation, not great on that scale.
It's awful. It off gases. The VOCs are nuts. They say that the savings you get, correct me if I'm wrong, over the lifespan of it is just blasted out with whatever whatever blasts out during the curing process is like that completely offsets any of the savings you get.
Like from energy savings over the life.
From a environmental perspective now, right?
So like the chemicals and the way that foam is created and
VOC is volatile organic chemicals, and essentially the reason you can't be in that building when it's curing is because all that shit that's off gassing is horrible.
Yeah. So you gotta.
So they're getting away from spray foam. Are they gonna ban it?
No, they're probably not gonna ban it. They're just gonna say like, hey. So they've already started it a little. So like you can do this thing where you can opt into a carbon efficient path for insulation or concrete. And you basically get an extra 3 points of wiggle room in your HERS rating.
Oh, wow.
And so,
but what is it instead of spray? What are you just doing extra, like additional layers of fiberglass?
That's where it gets tough because really the things that work are like recycled cellulose. So they'll do like spray,
net and blow.
Yeah.
Oh,
stuff like
chopped
that.
Mineral wool.
Yep.
Recycled blue jeans.
You probably know better than me.
So basically we should be investing in rock wool or whoever owns rock wool.
Yeah, rock wool.
I mean, all right. So Seriously. I want to pivot again. Sorry to be so ADD here, but Charles, your strategy for like new customer acquisition, I think is pretty interesting. I see all your stuff on different areas of social media. I've tried to recruit you to help us with our brokerage, with our customer acquisition for people selling their houses. Talk to us a little about that. Like how does that whole funnel work?
So I subscribe to the Alex Hormozy theories, if you guys know who he is.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So we used to spend around $10,000 to acquire a client. And, I'm 28. We don't have like loads and loads of money. 10 grand is a lot of money. And then you got to wait 2 or 3 years to get paid out to return that. So it's really expensive and really hard. But what's much easier is to just, take our employees' time for, $1,000 worth of time and give somebody something that's worth 20 grand to them, or really worth way more than that because you're going to save them hundreds of thousands of dollars. Give it to them for free. And then they love you. They're like, hey, wow, you just solved the problem for me. Maybe you can solve some more. Yeah, and so it's kind of like a give. It plays on like reciprocity. It's like, if I give to you, you're probably going to want to work with me. And not everyone does. Some people just take it and run. And that's okay. Like, we're not trying to get, there's no catch. Like,
I hear you. That's like the whole premise of jab, 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 left hook, which is, it's not Hormozy. What's the other sneaker guy? Super cool. I'll think of his name.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess percentage-wise, out of the number of people you give these free things away to, what percentage come back and actually
50%.
Okay.
So our customer acquisition cost is around $2,000 now, down from 10 grand.
So it costs you $2,000 to develop these free reports, and then 50% of those that go out, you're getting a client out of.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's great. I mean, and a lot of people come back, and there's also like not anybody really doing this. And so, if you want to get that kind of report where it's a cost first approach to energy, like it just doesn't really exist. Even the big firms don't do it. So yeah, I think it's interesting. It's the only thing that really works. And then it's cool too, because it feeds all the content. So like you mentioned the emails and everything, it all just comes from the reports. Like I just read through them and I go, wow, that's interesting that we found that in this report, because we did 100 different analysis on it. And we found out that like, oh, hey, if you go from an R49 to an R60 in your attic, it didn't do anything to the model. And you just spent all this extra money because that sounded like a good number. Like that's literally why people pick these numbers sometimes. They're just like, well, we used that on the last one.
It's trying to check up. You're not just trying to check a box, but you have to meet the requirements. And so, like you said, it's also one of those comfort things. Like, oh, well, I'm familiar with throwing extra insulation in there, but maybe I'm not familiar with this particular combo that your spreadsheet spits out.
Yeah, and there's also like the factors of like, we spend a lot of time up front just talking with the team and seeing.
When do you do that? Like, are you in design phase? Is it earlier than that, or are you in like construction doc phase?
I'm sure it's as early as possible, and it's more beneficial to get in.
I know.
We've done this before.
No, that's not a layup question. I'm like,
tell us about how your social media feeds from Twitter to Instagram or to LinkedIn, and how that whole kind of, what'd you call it, an algorithm?
It's just a funnel. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. So I copied it off of Alex Hormozy and Sharon Shavatsa or whatever, because Sharon is like smaller. He's like with the acquisition.com group. And I saw that he'll post like, I don't know, like 5 to 10 times a day on X. And then I'd see they'd be very short ideas. And that's it, just an idea. And then you'd see that turned into a more elaborate post on LinkedIn like a month later. And I was like, wait, so he's just taking his best performers on X that are just topics and then only putting the time on the topics that people care about.
So he's using that, like he's testing the waters.
Exactly. It's a testing ground. And so X is a testing ground for ideas. Then you turn that into a real post. So you don't waste time making posts that nobody reads because it was a bad idea. And then the posts that do really well go into email, and you send out 1 email a week. And you can do 2 to 3 LinkedIns a day. I've got to get a little bit more fresh with some of the ideas because I think it's starting to get boring to some people. But
it's so hard to keep coming up with new ideas. But no, that's kind of
How are you using AI now, I assume, in your business?
yeah, it's like I believe that I aspire to be the like multi-million-dollar company with 2 or 3 people. That is my goal.
Oh yeah.
And really do 100% believe we're going to get there. And we have it basically written out on a whiteboard, everything we're going to do, like probably 25%
Text
of
me
the
a
way.
photo of that board.
I will.
How many employees do you have?
W-2, just 2.
Okay.
We've got 1099s that do inspections and stuff, but that's a lot of people. But just 2 employees and me, and it's AI can do like 90% of your work if you are just willing to check what it did and correct it. And then it looks unbelievable and it does a better job at you than a lot of things, but it just doesn't understand the nuances of humans. And so it'll do like weird stuff every once in a while. Like it gave me a post idea from one of our studies and it was like, oh, you should tell them that if you, reduce your insulation, you'll save money. I'm like, we got no, of course, but it doesn't understand. That's not interesting.
That's not novel.
There's nothing cool about that.
What about like data scraping for new customers? Like Dan's building a project and it just got permitted. Like all of a sudden he gets an email in his inbox and it's like, Dan, I love your podcast. And I can't believe you just got your approvals in Lynn. But it was just basically publicly available data that you're scraping. And tell us your secrets.
Do you guys, okay, I found this one recently. So you've got like all the big ones, like the Apollos and the 100 IOs and all those big like lead enrichment companies or like People Data Labs, like who just gather data on people. And you can pay a lot of money for that. But what's really interesting now is, have you guys seen like Appify?
No.
Sounds familiar.
Oh my goodness.
No, it's not like Shopify.
You've got to look at it. Basically, it's a marketplace where people develop scrapers for everything. And it's just like you could go in and say that you're like, okay, well, there's a lot of information on, I don't know, CoStar that's really pertinent to me. I want to scrape it. And you build your own scraper for CoStar that works well and you maintain it. And then you put it on here and anybody can now use it. And like, you can just go in there and pay like, I don't know, a cent for like a certain amount of compute of like usage of the scraper. And there's thousands of scrapers for thousands of different purposes, like permitting, there's social media ones, there's everything you could imagine.
Credit cards.
But aren't like things like CoStar, it's a closed, like you have to pay to get access. They don't just have an API that you can just hook into to get all their data.
That's true. But what a lot of these guys are really good at doing, like for example, LinkedIn is locked down at scraping, but there's something called a Voyager API. And the Voyager API is basically people figured out how to kind of like hack into LinkedIn's like code. And I don't quite understand it, but they create their own like pirated APIs.
They're like reverse engineering it almost.
Exactly. They reverse engineer it and then pull the data.
But like those loopholes exist, but then like obviously LinkedIn could just turn around one day and just close it up.
I was going to say, aren't they going to just do like a takedown? Like, hey, you can't, terms of service, you're not allowed to reverse engineer.
So, and that's the cool part about this is like whenever the reason why Appify is cool is because, and I'm not sponsored by them, I just think it's sick.
I've never heard of it. This is really interesting.
Yeah. The reason why it's so cool is like you might have some random guy and he just always uses this LinkedIn scraper. And whenever LinkedIn goes and does something to mess it up, he's going to go and fix it. And you don't have to worry about it. That guy's going to fix it. And if he doesn't, there's 20 other ones that you can pick, And so
I'll tell you what I want someone to build. I'm interested in this for real.
There we go.
So
let's hear your idea.
I have a thesis that people who leave lots of negative Google reviews are people that you should just avoid in business. Whether they're a drywall subcontractor, a painter, a customer for your condos, it's just like, there's probably something wrong with them if they're 10-1 negative reviews to positive reviews. Like, I want to work with the guy that's like constantly going on Google and being like, RH Investment is the best development shop in Boston. And Charles, he performs the coolest energy reviews. I just don't want them to sell or deal with people in my life who are like, there weren't enough seeds on my sesame bun, and the masonry block seems to have settled by 1/8 of an inch. Like I'm all set here. Life's too short. So I tried to build this. I tried to find like, can I see Dan's reviews on Google without like finding a business that he reviewed first?
Have a bias factor or
Are you
something.
talking about like you want like for a buyer of your project?
Yeah, or even people that I might just contract with, like work with, whatever.
Because you can fluff the reviews too. Like, oh, get 10 friends to say I'm the best company
Well,
ever.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Oh, the union's amazing. Don't go out the union.
You can pay people to do that.
I'm not. I don't really care that my metric here isn't what the Google reviews say about the business. I want to know what an individual is going out into their world and writing about random businesses.
You don't want to work with
It's
that guy.
such a red flag.
Yeah.
So that being said, like the only way I've found to do it is to like randomly stumble on something that person reviewed, then click their name, and then it'll show you what they've done out there.
And if they have one review and you can tell it's a bot, or 2 reviews, like kind of lower the weight. It's almost like a weighted review system, right? Where if they're constantly doing negative reviews, they're like lower rated.
How many
weighted.
1 stars is too many? Like any 1 star?
Dude, I think I have 2 1-star reviews in my life.
What were they? I'm curious.
That is a good question.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like,
one was California Closets. I'll name names. That was the worst experience of my life.
What happened?
And I told them like a million times. It's like, and I gave them every opportunity. What happened? Yeah, I bought my own closets from California Closets, and they couldn't like deliver them on time. So it was like, cool, like I'll rent a U-Haul and I'll just like pick them up. And I like showed up and like nothing was organized, right? So I waited, got all the stuff, and I got back to my place, and it was like, imagine someone like delivering a car to you with like 3 tires and like a half of a steering wheel. So like we're like a day into installing this. I'm like, okay, I need a 4th tire. Like I can't drive this car. I'm going to put my tools down now. I wasted a whole day. I'd like give them a list and they'd be like, no, that was already in there. I'm like, it wasn't. And this like repeated to the point where I had like a massive change order from my Finnish carpenter for a good reason. It was like an inefficiency claim for like 3 days of time because they just could not figure out how to give me 4 goddamn hubcaps for a car.
So
that's worth the 1 star. That's worth the 1 star.
Your threshold for 1 star is you give them a chance and they just fumble completely.
And again,
so they cost you money.
My time was what I was dying for.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and then like just delaying my project. You know, I also feel a very strong compulsion. I don't know if you guys share this, but like guys who work for me, especially my subs, like I want them to succeed by working efficiently on the jobs and having the tools and the materials in front of them. And when like somebody messes that up,
yes, they mess up your timeline.
It reflects poorly on me. Like I feel very like it's worse than if you just wasted my time.
Yes, it's terrible.
Yeah,
and the downstream ramifications. It's just like it's a staggering effect.
Totally.
It just screws up so many downstream. Like it just impacts everything.
How do you guys plan for that in development? I've always been curious.
You don't. Every day's a new day.
No.
Well, you try. You try.
Tell them like, hey, here, don't touch this, and then they touch it, and you're like, fuck.
No. You got to plan. Like if I know that I need, like if I know my framers are starting today, I'm ordering lumber, I'm ordering materials for them a week ago and scheduling it to make sure that it's on site, on time when they start. You know, and you know, you can only do so much.
Yeah.
Right. Like I try to tell the guys, like, let me know when you need the next drop, like, and you need to tell me 24 hours in advance, and you know that never happens. But it's like like this, but from a material standpoint, like I'm ordering as much as I possibly can, as early as I possibly can, so I have it sitting somewhere.
Yeah,
you know,
and there's a balance between handling stuff twice and having just this shit sitting around that then gets stolen, lost, or thrown away.
Correct.
But yeah, so it's a challenge. Is the short answer to a very good question.
So I don't fully understand this. So you guys might laugh at me for this, but so you guys will like complete a certain level of work and then the bank like basically opens up more money for you. Is that kind of how it works or no?
Yeah. I mean, construction is a funny business because it'd be like taking your groceries walking past the checkout counter and unloading them into your kitchen, and then you get the bill. The only thing I can think of like that is like restaurants. Restaurants are like construction. So far as like you eat all your food and then the bill comes. So like our guys are usually being paid like a month in arrears.
Yeah.
So they'll do a month's worth of plumbing, and then at the end of that 30-day billing period, we get a requisition, and
I
then
was
the
gonna
bank
say,
pays, and then everybody gets paid.
it could actually be 2 months behind too in some cases. So they do the month. So let's use this month, May. May is over. They're like, okay, I got to send you the bill. Now that's June 1, right? So now you have like 30 days to get that to the bank. Then the bank gets the money to the owner to the GC to the sub. So it could be like 75 days in some cases.
Well,
Does
we're going
that
on a big
slow the process of construction down, though?
It does.
well,
sometimes.
Let me tell you,
Depends on the sub.
one of my superpowers as a GC is that I pay every Friday
Mm.
or every Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever you need it and you've really earned it, and you have my trust. Like the money's here, and like I will keep that. That is the kind of the lubricant for a project in terms of schedule is money. So guys are going to send their people to where the job's paying them.
Yeah.
So I try to make sure that that's never going to be something that's going to cause like friction.
Yeah, that brings up
Definitely.
such like an interesting topic too, because I feel like when you have people who don't feel like they're being valued or paid well, they don't work well.
Yeah.
And then everything probably gets hurt, I
There
imagine.
could be challenges. Yeah.
Man.
There's a wide spectrum. But how do you, Mark, how do you handle your capital stack that way? Because obviously you've got to figure out how
You're
to
funding a
basically-
lot
You're
before you get
basically
reimbursed for what you're
pre-funding
doing.
a lot, right?
Well, look, there's
You're
a term
larger
called
than average.
front-end loading.
Yeah.
And, sometimes my demo budgets are a little higher than, whatever. But I try to keep cash on hand too. Like there is always a balance too as a developer where it's like, I don't want to requisition for too much because then it's just sitting there and I'm paying 8% on it
Right.
plus. But generally speaking, I will also self-fund to the tune of, humbly like $100,000 I can easily put out there before a bank has paid me back. And since it's my own project and it's my own money, I'm like, it's not that much of a risk.
No.
Mhm.
I also think it's like subs also, it depends on the size of the project and the scale of the project. Like bigger subs are used to requisitions and the,
The
process
timing, right.
and how the draw scheduling goes. But like smaller guys that like need to pay their guys or need to be fed every Friday or every other Friday or something like that, those are the guys that you need to keep.
Right.
But if you want to deliver a project at an effective cost, you probably, you can't have all the Rolls-Royce, Mercedes-Benz subcontractors who have PMs and admin staff and can wreck you at the end of the month and wait 30 more days. Like
Right.
those guys are expensive.
Yes.
Let me, I saw something on TikTok. So this
This
guy
always scary to
claims-
me.
This guy, it's
Every
one
time I
of
start
these,
this,
it's one of
here
these
we
like
go.
showboaty, I'm so rich kind of guy, developer guys, and he's driving around in his car, presumably in Miami, maybe, I don't know.
Wow,
I-
let's not
I-
stereotype.
Whoa.
Jeez, wow.
Wow.
Charles is from Florida.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Okay.
Come on,
And so
that's our town.
No. I'm just saying. So he's driving around with anyway. He's like, I
Are you gonna tell-
pre-sell the project. First, I pre-qualify the buyers, and then I pre-sell the units.
Oh, I saw this.
And
I saw that too.
I ask for a 50% deposit, and then I'm using 80% of that 50%.
Absolutely illegal.
So I don't have to do a construction draw. I was like,
Not in
is this
Florida.
guy so full of shit that he thinks he's just like bypassing escrow laws?
No, that Florida law is different.
That's totally different.
You can 100% use buyer escrow money towards construction in
Stop.
Florida.
That's
yes.
insane.
Really?
Yes. I
How
mean,
is
I should
that
qualify. I'm not
allowed?
an attorney. You should consult one. I just play one on TV.
So you know
if you're
this
doing
from-
development in Florida. But I happen to know that like in Massachusetts, you cannot touch those deposit
God,
funds and put them towards construction. But in Florida, yes, you can.
So he was claiming he could use
Yeah, it's the Wild West.
80% of the 50% deposit, and I don't even know
So
where
he'll
he's finding. I don't know where he's finding these 50% deposit people.
Well, he'll basically pre-sell 50% of the building before he even breaks ground.
Well, the
and
bank,
then
right, who's going to wait?
You
that
guys-
long?
you guys
That's
don't know,
incredible.
the banks in Florida typically require that you pre-sell 50% before a shovel goes in the ground. Like,
Really?
yeah, there's
Interesting.
that's a
nuts.
very common
Weird.
business
What
practice.
a
Yeah.
weird.
It's an interesting state.
Yeah.
It's
So,
crazy.
I don't know.
think
Not
someone's-
quite a crazy Miami guy at all, but
Yeah. I do like.
I'm
yeah.
glad. Aren't you? Okay, that wasn't
See?
a weird one. I got
No,
one
I know
for
Florida
one for
real
10
estate.
there.
How did you figure that out?
Yeah, I spent some time in Florida. So I don't know. This has been a great conversation. I feel like we've kind of gone away a little bit from where we started, but I'm not mad.
No. Do
No.
you want to tell us about your all-electric trap?
Oh, okay.
Because I just had a building this morning. Our building in Lynn lost power, and I felt like I was in that trap. Nothing worked. All my alerts went off at 2 a.m. I drove down there, find out that there's no power. Is that the all-electric trap, that we have no backup systems here?
Maybe.
Should have a generator.
Yeah.
That wasn't the spec. That wasn't designed.
I would just say the all electric trap is this. There's like this belief going around that you just can't use gas anymore in new construction.
Well, some municipalities won't even let you bring it in.
Right.
There's 10 of them banned, right?
Natural gas we're talking about, not gasoline.
Yeah. And if you're certain places, yes, that's true. But a lot of the state, like, not only is it like totally possible, all of the energy people freak out on me for saying this, but it does really well in models, which means it's probably very energy efficient. But like basically, like, like the heat pump water heaters everybody's pushing really hard. I'm sure you all know this. It does really, really well in models.
Mhm.
That's why they all push it, right? Well, gas water heaters do just as good. And so you get a little penalty in the HERS model for it, but it does so much damage dropping your score. Like, you can basically pick between a gas water heater, like that instant Navien one, or you can pick between a heat pump water heater, and it's going to pretty much do the same thing, and the rest of your building's going to look the same. Like,
that's fascinating. I thought that you forfeit all rebates and that you have to now put solar panels on the roof.
So that's another.
Is that apocryphal?
So in some municipalities, you do have to put solar on the roof if you do it in a specialized code zone. The stretch and base ones, you don't have to put solar on your roof. And a lot of people don't know this. In any zone, regardless of what you're doing, you can put water heaters in, nothing else, just water heaters, and your MassSave incentives are still intact as long as it's multifamily, 5 units and up, and you don't lose that at all. And so
nothing is better than a tankless, like for domestic hot water heating. Navien is the top of is the pinnacle. A tankless hot water heater is efficient. It's smart. It works really well. It's all the good things. The heat pump water heaters. I'm actually testing a new one that's interesting now from A.O. Smith.
Nice.
But the heat pump goes outside for the hot water.
It's almost like a dense.
Yeah,
it's like a mini split basically. Yeah. So they're taking the noise producing component.
That is the thing
unit.
that blows cold air.
Are they much more expensive or no?
I got it for free, so I'm not sure.
So it's like an additional small thing that goes outside.
I was going to say, this is going to be on the second annual Good Housekeeping.
I shouldn't really
episode.
say too much more. It's kind of like when The Bachelor talks about the
basically all that's inside is almost just like a holding tank.
Yeah. Ding, ding, ding.
Think of it like a VTAC versus like a split system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting model.
Yeah. I lost so many buyers in Newton because I couldn't provide gas cooking. A lot of buyers who purchase in Newton want to have like woks, and that's their style of cooking. And
I'll tell you one thing. I like induction better than gas.
Yeah, but you don't cook with a wok, do you?
Sometimes.
Okay. With induction? Yeah, they make them. I know they make them because I staged the properties with them.
I don't cook with a wok.
Yeah. Well, so gas cooking, can you do it, or is that gets
no? So and that's something that we're finding too. Like, I used to be an incentive guy, so it feels weird, but like, I mean, just the more and more that we get into it, the more it's like you should just focus on lowest cost and ignore the incentives. And unless you're building townhomes.
And they keep getting worse. Well, I need you to look at my townhomes.
What do you mean unless you're building townhomes?
Yeah. Well, townhomes, you can get anywhere from $7,500 to $15,000 per unit. And so from MassSave. And so if you are doing that, like, that is a big enough number that it actually can be a deciding factor on what's
to
the
go
best.
all electric.
Yes. It's a real deciding factor. On multifamily, the incentives are like $1,750 or $2,000.
When you say
we did high rise and it was really, really low.
Yeah.
Our building was like the high rise program. So I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it's terrible.
I guess it depends on, a couple of caveats, right? It depends on the year because every year MassSave changes its rules and incentives, right? Because
Yeah.
that's based on the funding that they get at the state level, which currently there's a lot of negative political pressure to get rid of MassSave because everybody's bills are going crazy. So, I mean, do you think MassSave is at risk of future cuts or tweaks, or do you think they're just going to shift around the items in the cart?
Or
No pressure.
No, that's a great. Oh, you're messing up my relationships there.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I would just say that I have heard like budget cuts. Usually that means they're going to shift stuff around. I mean, I actually just approved a post to go out for that. In Arizona, they just totally axed a program.
Yeah.
So, like literally just midway through, just all these people were pre-approved for a bunch of money, and it was just like. Literally, I think it was, I don't know, a governor or mayor or somebody was like, we're done with this. Signed a bill, boom, gone. It's
like all incentives.
Gone.
I mean,
all incentives.
I don't
for
think he has a
utilities.
chance of winning. Brian Shortsleeve, he might have already be out, but he was like, day one, I'm getting rid of it all. If he's even allowed to. But that's a real risk, right? Like that could happen.
Well, I mean, what's the risk? It's like, yes, the incentives go away, but you're still required to build and meet certain code.
Correct. But incentives is one facet of that equation.
Because really what they're doing is, and they do this in the Northeast a lot more than other states, is to help push their
agenda.
Energy stuff. I don't want to. I am neutral in this, and I'm neutral.
Okay.
I
mean, I'm raging red. Don't worry.
Respect. I'm just kidding. But
can we turn off Ray's microphone?
Marc is baby blue. Look, there you go.
Ray's the audio video guy. This isn't fair. Can we play overrated, underrated, or appropriately rated?
Yeah.
Well, are you familiar?
I'm in.
Okay, all right, we're going to ask you a series of questions. You're going to answer very quickly based on your own criteria. You can't ask for clarification. The first one is solar panels.
Hold on. With or without battery
No,
storage?
you can. That's for
underrated.
Underrated. Okay. Say more.
I heard this from a developer recently. He did gas, had to install solar, and he said it literally like improves the investment value of the property because I get a return on it.
Oh, interesting.
And he said it's the only energy related thing that I get a return on.
Now that's going to be if you're not doing a PPA though, not a power purchase agreement.
Or you're not.
You got to own.
Or you're not selling them as condos.
What about in single families?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm adding to
no.
the question.
I think solar's kind of dead for a while. I mean, it was subsidized. The prices have to come down. Like,
I mean, the tech is getting better. They keep the efficiency is getting better, so that's good.
It's just kind of a weird thing. It's like, oh, hey, let me take out a $50,000 loan so I can still pay part of my power bill.
Yeah,
right.
Like, get rid of the power bill, or like, don't do solar at all. Like one or the other. Yeah. But I don't want to like pay half what I used to pay. That's weird.
And make a loan payment.
Yeah, and make a loan payment, and have like, what do you do when you sell your house?
Well, the real risk also, going back to, I mean, I hate to bring politics into it, but the net metering laws, they change all the time too.
Oh my goodness.
So,
yes.
what they're going to give you, I mean, nothing's free, right? So the electric company has all the infrastructure to distribute the power. If you're not a revenue generator for them anymore, then they got to get it from somewhere else. So I'll leave it at that.
They hose you on that net metering
I actually don't know what that means.
So what they'll do is so let's say,
you're buying your power at 100%. For every kilowatt, call it 10 cents a kilowatt hour, right? If I'm generating it, you know how your bill has like 75 line items? Some are at 100%, some are at 0%, some are at 25%, and that all gets negotiated somewhere.
Okay.
So
Still don't
let's
follow.
say Massachusetts is like, everybody go install solar. We'll give you $20,000 if you install solar, right? And then everybody installs solar. And let's say you produce $100 worth of energy, they take $100 off your bill, right? But what they'll do is then 5 years later, when everybody's already installed it, they say, hey, actually, we're only going to give you 50 cents on the dollar.
Oh, shit.
So you produced 100, you're only going to get 50 off. And they can change that whenever the heck they want.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, like what?
They wanted the adoption, and then they're like, oh, shit, how do we make money?
You want to be in a state where you're like certain you're not going to get like screwed.
So I don't want to tweak or add on, but just battery storage instead of like your typical backup generator.
I'm not an expert on it. so I don't want to speak
Oh,
to
that's
it.
the whole point. You have to throw it out.
Overrated, underrated. Like, what do you think?
There's allegedly an incentive right now, so I guess underrated because most people don't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know it till
Is
recently.
it through the utility company?
I don't even know. I think there's a federal tax credit. Somebody was messaging. People just DM me about incentives.
Stay tuned for future.
We just
emails.
we have a friend, I'll tell you later, who just bought land, and part of their investment thesis is they're going to put these big batteries on the back of the site, and solar panels are going to store energy, and it's like near the grid or something. I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
I mean, if
They're going
you
to
look
store
at,
the energy and then do what with it?
yeah, I think sell it.
if you look at all these AI, no, if you
become
look
the
at-
energy king.
The files are in the computer.
First,
All right, this is going off the
First it was
rails.
crypto mining
Yeah.
that was taking up
Yeah.
all the money,
Yeah.
all the energy.
Right.
Now it's the AI data centers that are going to need all this energy. So, like entire towns worth of energy for one 40,000
I'm going to go now.
building.
All
Go ahead.
Ducted heat pumps.
Overrated. It adds risk to the deal, and you can get great cassette ceiling things that look cool.
Okay, yeah.
Like
I'm doing ERVs in my project right now. Naturally, you have to have ERVs. Am I right? to say that?
yeah, it's like yeah.
You have to.
Whole building or in unit?
So in unit, but even beyond that, they're not ducted. They're just through wall. So it looks like sort of like I want to say a suitcase, but it's nicer than that. But it's 60 inches above the floor, a foot away from the corner wall. And you want to do it in a living area if you can, but you can put them in a bedroom, and it does up to 85 CFM, and it costs, I think, the Pioneer one I'm buying is like $1,500. But what's really nice too is like it just doesn't take up space, and then you don't have to tie it in with the rest of the ductwork, and it's
So it's literally like an old school
It's
air
like
conditioning
almost like a
unit.
ceiling fan that just gets ducted. Like there's
It's
one in.
picture a suitcase, and on one side of the suitcase is an intake, and the other side is an exhaust. And on the front is like a nice panel with a filter and an LED screen, and you have a remote control for it, and that's bringing in fresh air and exhausting.
That's
and it's
genius.
just right on your exterior wall. So, yeah.
That's incredible. I need to see that from you
Definitely.
because that sounds sweet.
All right. This episode brought to you by California Closets. It's been awesome hanging out with you guys. Charles, thank you for flying in from Florida.
Yeah, we
Any
really
final-
appreciate it. This was a
Thank
good
you.
one.
Yeah, I enjoyed this, man.
This was so
Yeah.
fun, guys. Thank you so much.
Somebody
I'm
wants a
honored to be
free
here.
energy model.
Seriously,
Yeah.
we literally give them
Yeah.
away for free,
Yeah.
no strings attached.
How do they get in touch with you?
You get an
Just,
energy model, and you get an energy model.
Find me on LinkedIn, Charles the Jager, or email me at charles@energycreditconsulting.com. And I'll give you free energy models, and
Yeah.
you'll get the lowest cost path to energy code.
Beautiful.
Wow. Boom.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for
Guys.
listening, rating, reviewing, subscribing, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers.
Later.